much for coming to our workshop today. First things first is we're not expecting a fire alarm. If one goes off, let's all leg it, and I think we go out here and follow me to the fire escape round the back, but we're not expecting one. These are my students here. They're all a mixture of first, second and third year event management and tourism, international tourism management students. This is a student-led workshop. They've put in a lot of time outside of their assignments and everything to deliver this workshop, so please make sure that we remember that with any questions that we may have. This is all about vlogging and blogging, and it creates part of our digital talk series, which we're doing throughout the whole year. Our next workshop is next Wednesday on global identities, and we'd love it if you could come to that one as well. And then our first talk in the series is on the 6th of December at 1:30, and we've got a representative from the British Association of Esports. So gaming, he's a caster, which is the kind of word for someone who casts gaming online, so we'd really love it if you could join us for that as well. Just to let you know, we are filming this session and the slides that we're showing, and if for any reason that you're uncomfortable with that, please let me know and we can make sure we correctly edit it at the end. We really do want you to have your laptops and phones in front of you. This is an interactive session. We'd like you to tweet as you're going. We really want to make sure that you can learn something from this. So, without further ado, I will pass over to my students, and we will just see how long. We've got an hour and a half, but it might be an hour, it might be less time. So thank you, over to you guys.
Hello everyone, my name is Hilary and this is my group.
I'm Emily. I'm Eric. I'm Charlotte. I'm
Tom.
So at the top you can see a URL if you want to ask any questions. If you don't actually want to physically ask questions, you can just send them away, answer them through the comment. So I'm going to pass you over to Anakin.
First of all, we just want to tell a bit about what actually blogging is. So a blog is a regularly updated website or a web page, which is typically run by individual small group that is written in form of merged conversational style. We're going to go through a bit more what kind of different blogs later on. A blog is basically just the same, but you do it in a video. So you can have a blog or a blog, but you upload videos and you talk to it. Bit of history. Blogging basically started around 1994, but it was known as a personal homepage. It wasn't the style that we know today as a blog. And in 1997 they came up with the word weblog, which they wanted to just refer to logging the web. And they wrote down what they were doing while they were searching online and stuff. So it's still not a blog that we know it today, but it was a start. It was in 1998 that the first blog started, and that was because of the Hurricane Bonnie. So it was like a news site that blogged live what was happening. So the first blogs that came up was more political and news related. In 1999 they started calling it a blog instead of a weblog. It wasn't until 2003 that AdSense came, which means that you can start earning money. You can, if you put up a link to a website or something, if people push it and buy something from that site, you earn money because you refer them to that site. So in 2004, the first video blog started, and that is even a year before YouTube came. So maybe that is one of the reasons why YouTube came in the first place. And in 2006, blogging was the word of the year in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, which, yeah. And we also want to say that to see how fast they've grown. In 1999, there was 23 blogs throughout the whole internet. And in 2006, there was 50 million blogs. It didn't take longer in 2010 to take 152 million. I don't have a number exactly now, but I'm pretty sure it's a lot more than that. And then a bit of different types of blogging. We have the blogging, the row, that tell everyone what you think. Basically, you just sit there and you write whatever comes to mind. You also have the guest host, which is that you go in for a company and you blog for a company as a guest. So it's not the company itself that is writing. You also have the niche, which is where you narrow your focus on certain topics, like you can do tourism, you can do fashion viewing, all that stuff. You have the giver, which is deliver value to your customer, makes a better content creation, which is basically like a to-do kind of blog. Like, I know that when the blogs came, one of the biggest kind of blogs was actually how to make a blog, because people wanted to understand how to make a blog to earn money and stuff like that. So the biggest bloggers were the ones on how to make a blog. You have the guide, which is guiding others. Like, you can think for tourism, trying to guide on locations and stuff like that, what to do, what to see, what to eat. Tell all is a bit like the role, but you maybe go a bit further than just your superficial thoughts, more like in-depth personal. Enterprise is when different companies is writing to talk about their company or the products it sells, services it sells, or whatever. And in blogging, you can like review and unboxing products, which means that people get paid to sit there and open, let's say they bought clothes. Just, oh, I got a package, and you just take off the clothes and talk about them, what you think about them, stuff like that. You also have practice and comedy, and beauty and fashion and fitness. We're going to take a look at a few of these videos later on today. How to education, lifestyle, gamers is a big thing. Movie reviews, travel, pop culture, and gossip. It's basically just people sitting and filming, like the gamers, they actually just film while they're playing and talking while they're playing. Yeah.
So we thought we'd get like the top 10 bloggers and vloggers just to like tell you a bit about them. I won't read all of them, but for example, like number 4, Lily Pebbles, she does like lifestyle, beauty, things like that. And then the same with what Olivia did, and then there's obviously like a range.
These are the top 10 vloggers. People like Zella and Tanya Bird do like makeup videos and fashion, and then Thatcher Joe Cassidy, Grimace Blog, and Marcus Butler do more like prank videos and vlogs. And then Jim Chapman does the same, but he also does like cooking videos and fashion as well.
Okay, so this is Jessie Mills. She's a student at the university, and she's currently on placement, but she said that she would really want to talk about her experience with blogging. So she's given us her top tips, her 10 top tips for blogging, and also she's given us a short paragraph about her, which will be played soon. But Jessie really got involved because she was a student, she enjoyed blogging, she travelled a lot, and she just wanted to tell people about her story and like how she did it, and then this is just how it started. But she's a student, she obviously has coursework, she's on placement now, but she said just don't stop, and she keeps going, and she just keeps blogging. Sorry.
So I found my digital voice properly last year. My blog was something that I always enjoyed doing, but before last year I had never been happy with it. I've always loved writing and doing my blog, but it wasn't until I visited Miami and Florida where I realised I wanted to not only travel for a living, but write about it as well. I started writing down and catching up with all of my different travel adventures I'd been on. I also started writing about little bits that were tourism based because of my course at university, but I wasn't brave enough to publicise these posts online. I was too concerned about what other people would think of my writing, or worse, make fun of me. It wasn't until one day all I thought was, what harm would it do? If they didn't want to read it or look at it, why would they? So I posted a link on Facebook to the blog, and people actually started viewing and commenting on it. I actually thought this was a good idea and started to pursue it more clearly. I was enjoying it, the people reading it were enjoying it, that was all I wanted. Now it's something that I want to continue as a career. Travelling and blogging is what I want to do later on in life. So finding my virtual voice actually made me realise what I wanted to do in my future. Although I'm in full-time work on placement at the moment, blogging is a passion and hobby of mine, and I'm incredibly happy that I found my digital voice because it did wonders for my confidence, as well as helping me to realise my future, even if it is such a small thing.
Okay, so before we go on to the next section, I'm just going to get you to kind of sit and chat with whoever you're next to and see what you think top tips would be for blogging and blogging, what you think you would need to do to start up your own vlog or blog, or like what to do when you're actually creating it. So just take some time
Okay guys, if anyone wants to say some, we've got some questions here and some good tips that people sent in. But if anyone would like to physically say something now about what they've done, blogging tips, blogging tips. Okay, we can read out some of the questions first to start.
Okay, so one tip we've got is to choose a specific topic. If you're too broad, then it'll be hard to get a loyal audience. That's a good point. If you have one particular idea, or like Anakin said before, like a niche, it's good to go with that. A, because you know a lot about it anyway, so you're more likely to be able to keep it running, keep saying new things about it. And B, your audience is more focused. So again, anyone with similar ideas or a similar kind of favourite idea, then they'll be able to follow it more specifically.
Update it regularly, that's a really good point, because we had recently in one of our DSAC meetings, the social media head from Apps Letting came in, and she talked to us about how that, just as a letting company, they need to keep up to date because they want to be the first letting company that you see, and all that, so it comes in straight away. So they said 3 times a week updating social media, Facebook, Instagram, all of those things are really important. Because internet is really quick and people don't pay attention for very long. People will forget, unfortunately, if you don't keep your posts up to date. Obviously, bloggers and stuff, they have issues like, I'm going to post Monday, Friday, Saturday. And obviously if you don't, you just explain, you get to like your viewers any way you can, Snapchat, things like that. Just keep in touch with them, and then it's like an update regularly, just to keep your footage and things like that up to date as well.
Another one we've got is listen to your viewers and what they would like to see. Again, that's a really good point. If your followers are requesting a specific video or a specific idea, again, they're more likely to follow you, they're more likely to continue watching them because you're meeting their demand. Whatever they want to see is a really good kind of idea to start with. If you're struggling for anything, if you've got to a certain point you think, I don't know what to write about next, listening to your viewers is really helpful in terms of developing a new idea, going off on a tangent maybe for like 1 or 2 videos or 1 or 2 posts.
Yeah, the beautiful content needed, that's really good. Like, high quality content is really important because people don't want to watch a blurry video, and if things aren't, not that they have to be a professional art, like you can film stuff on your phone. And I think Apps, they filmed a really good advert on their phone, and the quality was just filmed from iPhone, so you don't necessarily need to buy equipment. But it would be a good place to start with a nice camera or something to get good pictures and stuff, so people keep up to date with that.
Okay, we'll go into Jessie's top tips now. So 1, have confidence in yourself. That's the main thing. I know a big issue with starting a blog or starting a blog is that you kind of panic and you don't know where to start, where to begin. Again, talking to yourself in a camera. We tried it, and again, it's very difficult. Trying to just sit down, be serious, have a conversation with yourself always seems very odd. You just have to be confident, dive right in, just see how it goes. If the first one's bad, scrap it. The second one's bad, scrap it. Eventually you'll find your flow, you'll find your voice. Planning. It's always best to plan your vlog or your blog. They can be structured, they can be unstructured. So like in Jessie's one here, she's got different hyperlinks, different things that she did. So it's not just a full sheet of like paragraph writing. But as well, don't overwhelm yourself with it. So don't sit there and plan for ages because you might lose ideas. You might be trying to think too much. So even if you're just carrying around a notebook and see something that you thought is a good idea, scribble it down. That's the best way to do it. don't lose your focus. So again, a lot of people kind of don't really know where they're going with it, don't always post regularly. People are interested in what you have to say, so if you keep it regular, keep it up to date, more people are going to want to look and see your vlog or your blog. Again, like just says, don't leave them hanging. The more you leave them, the more irregular you are, you'll get less viewers, less people likely to see it. People do want to know what you think about things. No matter how opinionated or unopinionated that you are, they do want to hear about it. So 4, write about anything you like. Absolutely anything. Particular hobby, sport, tourism, travel, anything like that. Somebody somewhere along the line will want to hear about it. Even if you did a blog or a vlog with a mishmash of different things, somebody will look at it. So Jessie's particular one, she's a wanderer and traveller. She does a lot of travelling, so she's got her different places she's been. Within that, you've got her different stories from each place she travelled. So that's her particular topic. But like we said earlier, with more professional bloggers like Zoella, they've gone for beauty and fashion, things like that, or general day-to-day life. So anything that you would like to write about, go for it. Express yourself. Be yourself. The majority of the time, as long as it's kept PG, you've not got a problem with it. I mean, there are some videos, some blogs that have been taken down because they're too extreme. But just be yourself, say how you feel. A lot of the time people have got more respect for you if you actually give your opinion, say exactly what you feel, rather than just kind of taking the general kind of opinion and agreeing, sitting on the fence. Media is a really good thing to use in both blogs and vlogs. I know vlogs are already very media orientated because they are done through video and then uploaded. Again, with blogs, they're mostly online. But use things like pictures and videos. You can see here that Jessie's got a collage of hers and a main picture of where she went. But people use videos within them, give someone else, the viewers, something else to look at, different format, different features. So media is always good to have in your blogs and blogs. Like I've said, get into the flow of posting. Do it every other day, every day, once a week. Always keep it regular. Again, if you're interested in a follow account, people are more likely to see it, more likely to view it because they know exactly when. They'll see it when it's new because they are dedicated to following you. Themes and topics, always helpful but not essential. If you wanted to do a blog or a vlog on anything and everything, go for it. But again, like I said, if there's a particular idea or niche you're interested in, again, that's one thing you can go with. Like I said, you've got it, you know it, it's easier to add more information. So, good platforms to use. WordPress, I know, is a really popular one, really easy to use. It's all free, I think, mostly. So that's a really good one. There are so many sites now that you can create your own web page, publish it, any style you like. Even if it is just a website builder, you can go with that. But this one, WordPress, is definitely one to use. And finally, be yourself. You don't have to put on a brave face. You don't have to act like someone you're not. More people will have respect for you if you are yourself. A vlogger we've spoken to before, Alice Thorpe, who's a student here, she said straight away that her viewers are interested in her because she's very opinionated. If she has a bad day, she'll tell them about it straight away. If somebody's annoyed her, then she will explain why. So be yourself. No one wants to see someone who's really fake. A lot of the time they pick up on it straight away. So just go with the flow.
Sorry, I just wanted to very quick. Sorry. So we wanted to not just talk about this, we wanted to try it. So us as a group, we made a vlog sort of ish. Yeah. We tried our best. It was our first video as a group, and we timed it, we planned it, and we thought the 73 questions with both would be a good starter on. Couldn't think of 73 questions, so we've got 52. So we got that far, but we involved Hania as well, the lead. So yeah, it's good. Yeah.
What technology do you use to contact home?
WhatsApp.
When do you use technology / social media the most?
Probably at night time when I've got some spare time and my little one gone to bed.
Earphones or headphones?
Earphones.
How old were you when you first got your phone? Your first phone?
Wow, it was like a brick. I think I was 12.
In one sentence, why did you start DSAC?
Because I wanted to get students to do more with digital and empower themselves.
How much do you use your phone each day?
Probably about 2 hours.
What is your first memory of technology?
Probably at school, at secondary school, in year 7, and we had IT classes and we had massive Acorn computers. They were ridiculous.
What was your first email handle?
I think it was really boring. It was just my name and Yahoo.
TV or film?
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for someone starting a blog?
Forget about confidence.
Who was the last person you spoke to on the phone?
That was my friend Hillary.
If you could change technology in one way, what would it be?
I would like to remove all the trolling.
Do you stream or download music? Favourite sport? What's your favourite time of the day to work out?
Midday.
Home workout or gym workout? Favourite piece of gym equipment?
Boxing gloves.
And what is your best cool down method?
Just stretching. Walking and stretching.
What is your favourite technological appliance?
Oh, my laptop and my power pack.
Who should everyone be following right now?
Life coaching.
Most useful technology for university life?
My iPad with the keyboard case.
Texting or calling?
Calling.
Calling or FaceTime?
FaceTime.
What's your favourite restaurant?
Present.
And what's your favourite thing to cook?
A Nigerian dish called jollof rice.
What is your favourite food?
Or deep fried mozzarella sticks.
Sweet or savoury?
I can't cook both.
Home cooking or student alternative?
Home cooking.
What is your favourite social media and why?
Instagram, because I like editing photos.
What's your favourite style of vlog?
Beauty.
What is the longest you've been without internet?
Probably a few hours.
Favourite technological appliance at uni?
Laptop.
Netflix or Amazon Prime?
Netflix.
What's your favourite beauty product?
Eyebrow pencil.
What's your favourite eyeshadow palette?
Charlotte Tilbury Dolce Vita.
What is your favourite brand of makeup? Where do you get your beauty inspiration from?
YouTube.
Beauty products, branded or unbranded?
Branded.
Hi.
So, who is your favourite vlogger?
Travis Barker.
When you're not at uni, what's your favourite hobby?
Listen to music.
What technology do you use in lectures?
Laptop and phone.
What was your first phone?
A Samsung Slider 1.
Windows or Apple Mac?
Apple Mac.
Where is your favourite holiday destination?
New York.
When did you last travel? And when?
In the summer and December.
Do you use the internet when you're on holiday?
All the time.
What travel apps do you use?
British Airways.
Internet booking or through travelling?
Seamless. So yeah, obviously that was our first vlog. We're gonna do another one tomorrow when we're on a trip to a conference. So we are trying to improve. So if you want to send in any suggestions and things that we can do better, obviously the camera and the editing could be a lot better. I do apologise about that. But this is our first time where we tried our best, and we used a different editing than I was used to. I normally use Final Cut Pro, but the university has Adobe Premiere Pro on the computers, so I use that. So it was like trying to work it out as I go along. So yeah, this is just our vlog, and we're going to talk about our experience with, our experience filming the vlog. Obviously, we all did a different section. We all wanted to do a different type of sort of vlog and stuff. So I did cooking, gym, drive. We tried the travel. Obviously, was the driving, but that's as much travel we can get right now. So. And beauty, and just something that we were all interested in, and sort of make it a bit more personal. Obviously, our filmer, videoer, Emily. So yeah. So.
Yeah. I had a big old beefy camera to use because we did talk about using phones and iPads and things like that. And there's in that vlog there's kind of two. So there are some that are filmed on Hillary's iPhone, and then others that are filmed on my camera. In terms of ease, the bigger camera for carrying around is not as convenient. I mean, it's quite heavy, and again, shaking is an issue because standing still and trying to hold a camera whilst talking is quite difficult. So in terms of that, probably phones are better. I know nowadays the cameras on phones are so incredible that you don't necessarily need a big setup camera like that. That is probably better for if you're just kind of sat in your own room filming yourself, then you can use a tripod or set it up so that it's dead square exactly where you want it to be. About how you felt when you were filming? What about the people?
There was a lot of like, this is not meant to be work, it's meant to be fun. Like, there's like so much footage that's obviously not in there of just laughing and crying with laughter and just.
I don't know what it was about saying the word vlog, and suddenly Hillary arrives at my office to do my filming bit, which by the way she told me to look at the computer. I wasn't being really rude. And we just started laughing profusely. We just I cried. That's how I've ever cried at work. But there was just something about the notion that you're about to be on film. I just found it extremely funny. And then Hillary said that happened with everybody. It's like kind of you've got to get your giggles out. Like, I don't know if I could ever be an actress or anything. But and then you started, so it's kind of this notion of something you're being filmed, which is quite daunting.
Nobody generally likes the sound of their own voice, or if you do, like spoil that because I really hate it. So obviously hearing yourself talk, that was like really awkward listening back, but like, oh, just carry on. But you will get used to that sort of thing over time because you just get used to editing stuff and hearing yourself talk on camera.
The more you talk to your camera as well, the more you feel like it is an individual person. I know some people, bloggers have said they started off the first time, again, they're like, this is really awkward, really weird, I'm talking to myself, there's no one here. Eventually, if you build a backing of people, like your followers, you do sort of feel like they can see you automatically through the camera. It almost becomes the sort of feeling of like a live feed, so you do feel like you have more of a, audience as such.
Yeah, just your camera. Yeah, so do you talk about filming?
It was really awkward. That's what I felt.
Yeah.
It got less awkward because we did it like 3 times to get dropped in the boat.
Yeah. Obviously, safety and stuff with driving, like, make sure the person who's driving isn't holding the camera. So, yeah. But it's things like that, like, you do get used to it. It was awkward, we laughed. I dropped the phone before I even got in the car. So, that wasn't good. But I think it was finding time and planning.
Definitely.
I think that was our biggest thing. In the beginning, we're like, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And then time, and then you're just like, oh my God, you're not free, who's free now? Try to do it all in one day. See people get ill, and then you just can't work it out. And then we tried to make it a sort of a day in the life, each one of us through the day. So the morning with Hanya and then Anakin at the gym, sort of thing, showing the duration of like our day for each of our section. So things like that. It doesn't always work out, but you have to adapt and you have to be flexible with yourself. Use what you've got. Like, this is not all our footage, but if it was, it would be like how long, and it wouldn't be very good. So there'd be a lot of laughing.
Again, as well, like when you start cutting and editing a video, like this one, it's not perfect. It's kind of fade in, fade out. There's no real flow. But the more you practice, the more you do it. You see professional vloggers, they've got it down.
Yeah.
Everything flows. No one films in one big chunk. That's what I'd say as well. Do it in smaller sections, 10-second clips, 20-second clips. Merge them together. It will be easier rather than you kind of getting flustered and trying to awkwardly continue for an hour long or however long your video is.
Yeah. I think it was fun experience still. We got some nice pasta out there. So
We had some good dinner.
we did have some good dinner. So it is meant to be fun and you are meant to be enjoying yourself. So that's, I think, the key thing to remember. Okay.
We wanted to talk about clickbait like, as a topic as well. The clickbait is basically when people, like on their vlogs and videos, they basically really over-exaggerate something. So like these are some examples. It's basically a method of making people watch your video. But as you can see, they're just, yeah, like that. It probably didn't happen, but yeah, it's just a method of like making people watch your videos basically.
A lot of viewers now have said that they don't necessarily like the clickbait, especially if it's something that's not in the video. People will put this like really extreme picture and then the video will just be them sitting in a chair talking. Like, there is some relevance to it. It is a good way to get people to watch a video, but then again, like the time limit, people get bored, they move on really quick. And you can see that with YouTube. It lets you see like where people stop in a video and like how long they've watched it for, whether it is like 5 seconds or the whole video.
Okay, so for this section we're going to do at what point you draw the line on whether it's too far. So for this one, after each video we're going to have a little bit of discussion, see what you think is okay about the video and whether it's too far. So we were just going to have a little discussion, see if you think that was something you would post or if you think it's too far, and then we'll slowly build up videos. So if you want to talk stuff about that one.
Has anyone got anything to say about that video before they posted it? Okay, so if you would post it, put your hand up. No one?
I might post it, yeah, but I wouldn't be in my swimwear or anything like that. I mean, that might scare people off. But for these people, yes.
Okay, so no one.
Sorry, that got recorded as well.
Yeah?
Didn't seem to be very useful to anyone.
Yeah. That
Didn't
was only
explain about the
beginning, so,
destination or what you can do. It was just
Yeah.
It'd be like a music video, but not a vlog.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything you want to say?
Do you think the content was in a box?
Yeah.
But it doesn't really seem authentic, like it doesn't seem like it's been staged.
I thought we were supposed to post it there, so I posted it.
Oh, no, that's fine.
We thought it's about the same set, and it's not informative at all. That it's about the same thing, like him dragging her and dragging him for 1 minute, so it's like too long.
Yeah.
Not very interested.
Anyone else? No?
Okay, so
We're at Link, we wanted to show you how we...
sorry.
Can I ask, what was the actual point of that previous video? What was it even for? Well,
it was a travel vlog, so they were trying to show what they were doing on their holiday, but
right, okay.
as we can see, it didn't really show you much what they were talking about. In this next one, we'll slowly build up the videos to see at what point it gets too far. And this is just a type of what they saw.
Did you see that? Incredible. Oh, sorry.
So this one is clearly like a prank one against their friend. And we were just wondering, what do you think these are quite funny to watch? And whether they're things that people would want to watch?
What happens?
It's okay, you tell them.
This is never ending up. This is definitely more than last time. Look at the size of it. Grant, are you in there? In the balloons? Grant? Oh, wow. Did good. We have a room full of balloons. Can you call Josh and find out how long he's going to be? This just looks absolutely insane. Oh, sorry. I'm going to find a little position. I'll try and get up any balloons. Oh, Jesus. Oh my God.
Dude, I was just wondering where you at the moment?
What's coming, Josh?
Yeah, where are you at the moment? I'm just wondering where you are, bro. I was like, this edit is nearly done.
No, it's not.
And I just kind of need your opinion on it.
Grant? 10 minutes. Okay, so Josh is about 10 minutes away. Get his balloons as fast as you can, but Grant, I'm nearly out. I can see the light. I made it. So, I'm sat at this little bit here. Oh my God, look at the perfect angle from here as well. Quick, Grant's gonna be here soon. Oh! Woo! I nearly had a heart attack. My ear. Oh, right here.
Oh, there's only one reason. Josh definitely is in my house. And that's a Thatcher Joe prank I smell.
And there's this dirty accomplice sitting in the other thing. Oh, yeah, what's he done? Oh! Oh my God! Are you shitting me? I mean, I'm just not.
So.
Yeah, so this one clearly has a lot of build-up, not very much. And we were just wondering what you would think about these kinds of videos. Like, would you count it as something that would be funny that people would want to watch, or?
Because prank videos are really popular. Yeah. You've got a couple of channels that have pranks literally dedicated to pranks, and it's like, would that be something you guys would do in your videos? Discuss. Yeah,
it was defeating.
Because they are quite popular, they do get quite a lot of views. I think with this one, the build-up was a bit much. Maybe they've done it before. It's not really anything that happens. We'll move on to the next one.
Okay, so for this one, we're not actually going to show it because we're not sure whether it's inappropriate for anyone in here. So basically, in this one, it talks about her experience with sexual assault and just gives people like more knowledge about it. And it's kind of letting people know different people's like sides and opinions and experiences. And we were wondering, like, is this at a certain point where it goes too far, where you're talking about things like this and it's everywhere for anyone to access, or whether it's good that people can see these and like share experiences and know that there's other people out there like them.
Do you guys want to discuss that together? The person next to you?
I think to give some context to this section of the workshop, basically my students were looking at the extremities some people went on vlogging and blogs, and they've chosen 5 videos to kind of give an idea of the extremes that some people go from, like kind of tourism, travel all the way through. There is this video that you can watch it as a woman talking about her own experiences. The extremities are that they're there if you want to see them in your own time rather than to play them in here. But it's people discussing. I think it was just for you to be aware that actually people are very extreme now, and we are moving into that world. It's kind of this hyper reality almost in which we're living in, that people aren't easily impressed as much as well when they're watching content. And so people are being drawn to different extremities and a culture in which people do ask for more. Not necessarily in this situation, but I think it might not necessarily that we need to discuss that here. It might be just that we actually can open up to the room at the end of the videos. But it potentially is a good platform for people to share and break down barriers and taboos and the challenges around kind of victim shaming potentially in these areas.
So in this one, you can watch a bit of this one because it's. So for this one, it's about her experience with plastic surgery. The reason we've included this one is because she's telling you why she's got it, and that might speak to different people and imply that they need to change things about themselves. With having this in such like on YouTube where anyone can access it, it's quite easy to pass your opinion on to other people, like impressionable people who are like nerds or whatever, and it could make them think, oh, I need to go have plastic surgery because this person has. So just watch it.
After 2 years to see the real final result, what does it mean? In 1 week time, the nurse will remove the splint and you see your new nose, but smaller with a better definition of the teeth, smaller nostrils, okay? But it's not yet the final look of the nose because it's really swollen. It will take a long time to settle down. Every month with different augmentation because nothing I can do to make it fast.
Yeah.
Residual asymmetry, all the time. if you stand up in front of the mirror or and you speak on the camera, or because your job is to stay in front of the camera, then you will find for sure some little difference in between.
Obviously, in here we can see after she's had the operation. And depending on how many viewers they've got, that depends how many people they reach. So like, if she's quite an impressionable YouTuber, so you've got loads of ones like Zoella, so if she had the amount of followers that Zoella did, she could reach so many younger people, and it could be like girls or boys, who also share the same thing about their looks, and they might feel that they want to change the way they look as well. After watching this video, to know that they could. Okay, so this one we're also not going to play because it might upset some people. So in this one, this one was actually taken down because people felt it was too far. I mean, it was an example of them pranking someone to see what they would react to the prank, but obviously, as it says in the title, they were pretending to kill his best friend without him knowing. So then, obviously, we'll open this up to discussion, whether you think it's too far that they would go to this extreme length to try and get views and likes, and whether it's worth it actually upsetting people, because obviously he didn't know that this was a prank. So how would that affect him as a person? And if you want to discuss these ones, then we'll open it up. You can post the questions and things.
Yes. This video especially, it's got a lot of copycats as well. A lot of people started doing these sorts of pranks, pretending to be murdered and with fake blood and a lot of things like that. And you do have to think about the
impact.
Yeah.
So obviously it's quite hard hitting that people will feel might upset them. So did you have any thoughts about whether you think this is too far, or whether you think this is okay?
I'd say definitely too far on it. There was an example in Russia that we were discussing over here where it was set up by two people and one person filming, that one person would have an actual firearm, but it didn't fire, it was a fake firing one, and they'd fake to shoot their friend who would go down, and a passerby who was unknown to the scenario would react, okay? And this got put online, so the first two people, obviously, like I do, run away and go for cover, obviously. However, in the culture over there, the third attempt, the actual passerby had a firearm on them and shot the individual on, I believe it went for the leg, I think it was, but that was posted online as well, so it's another example of it, but yeah, to the extremes on it. But.
It's a lot of extreme sort of pranks. People want to get those views up, but there are other ways, better ways, I would say.
And it is drawing the line on what is too far and how you stop people from doing this. Like, how would you stop anyone from posting videos like this? I mean, people can take them down, but then that doesn't stop people from seeing it before it's taken down.
The issue with this one as well is it got taken down, but it was re-uploaded by someone who'd already saved the video. So that raises another question: is like, if you post something, is it ever actually gone? Because clearly YouTube, as a company, took it down. But the fact that somebody could just re-upload it, which again spreads it to an entirely new audience, again, that's like another issue with things like this. There's never any real safety or kind of barrier as to what you can do vlogs and blogs if it was in that sort of format.
I know with YouTube they try to use sometimes rules and regulations to control the people who are blogging. For example, I know a blogger that was discussing about how he doesn't have any adverts on his videos anymore because he was swearing a lot in his videos. And then YouTube, I think, came out with, we will not advertise on your videos if you swear and don't bleep it out, because you do have a younger audience and you need to be able, like PG-13 or whatever, for the younger audience to be able to have a wider audience. They will not let sponsors advertise. And then obviously this is how people make their living, and that affects their money. So they obviously then they will change to adapt to those sorts of things. But with these videos, if it is too far like this, it will just be taken down. And I think they get warning or something like that.
But it's whether, because obviously if you can warn them, but will that stop them from uploading another one? Because if they've seen that this one's got so much attention from it, how would you try and direct them to not do that? Or to be more PG?
Does anyone have anything else they would like to say on this?
Well, I think it depends on the context, right? If you do this as a prank in the US, you will not go scot-free with this. Because I can assure you that probably a neighbor watching will shoot you down, as in trying to kill somebody. So it depends on the context. But in the UK, if you do it in the middle of the night, you might, go away with this. But if you do it in the daylight, I'm sure probably a granny will be watching you through the window and be calling the police that, oh my God, I'm watching an horrific stuff now. Do you understand? Yeah. So it depends on the context and your audience as well.
Because obviously people expect, for this, if they're prankers, people don't want the next prank to be the same. For example, the blue one, they've done it before, it wasn't as funny the second time. They obviously want it to get bigger and better. So there is that push of behind of make it better, make it more extreme. And obviously like you said, the context, depending where you are. I think they were in America. Yeah. But obviously it's late at night and they've done it in an area where they know no one will see them and keep it controlled. But I've seen a video also like this where they did the same sort of prank with a car where they were going to kidnap a woman. But it was a surprise party in the car. So just before she was dragged into the car, balloons came out, cake came out, and she was fine. But was that okay? And what makes that okay and this not okay? Obviously cake and stuff, but the difference is obviously that's really extreme killing your best friend and having to deal with thinking your friend's going to die in front of you.
As well, starting with something like this, if this was their beginning prank, it just makes you think, what did they intend to do next? Yeah. That was that much more extreme than this video. And again, we can't show it to you, but if you wanted to see actually what happened, it is quite touching, yeah. So I would, in your own time, say, have a look at it. But yeah, like I said, it just kind of, where is the line where people stop? How extreme does it have to go before people think, actually, this isn't funny anymore?
Does anyone have any questions on anything that we've spoken about today that they want to ask now? Either you can say it now or you can just post your questions.
You did talk about the money side of this, actually, and obviously you've got to talk about the time factor as well. When you guys spend, spending a day on it, it's a long time.
Yeah.
But in terms of generating, say, residual income or revenue for yourself as a result, how many sort of followers or views for certain amounts you've come across in your research?
Well, I know with a lot of YouTubers, they do make a lot of money from not just the views and the ads and things like that. It's from what it leads to. Mm-hmm. So things outside, so sponsorships like PewDiePie, I think that's his name. He's a gamer and he makes millions of pounds from doing vlogging gaming, because games will sponsor him. He will get early releases to talk about the game and play the game for them before it's released and things like that. So it is what it leads to and what you want to do. So beauty bloggers like Zoella, she now has her own products and shops and things like that. So it's what it will connect to outside of the YouTube world. So obviously you get those views, people take notice, and then the more views, the more deals that come through. I think even Alice talked about.
Oh, she's been doing things with Childline and things like that. Wilkinson's, because she did like a shopping haul there. So she was again sponsored and was given money to buy these products, things like that.
Yeah. So I think it is that, like, going into obviously whatever section you want to, like sport, fitness, cooking, beauty, and then using the YouTube as a platform to expand to other things.
They often have links in the description of the videos. So a lot of them will wear like a certain top or something, and then partway through the video they'll say, if you want this, click on this link as well. Yeah. And they generate money from those links, like every sale goes through.
Yeah, a lot of the YouTubers also have their own merchandise.
Yeah.
That's another way they make their own money. They get enough views, they get a following, and then they start making hoodies and jumpers with slogans from the videos and their face on jumpers, and people generally will buy them. And it's in the video you get to see sort of how the money's spent. So the YouTuber I watch, he was able to buy like a Tesla car from his YouTube. We watched from the beginning of him in an apartment through his fence to now like 1.2 million house in the hills. So it's like in that sort of amount of time, the money he's made, the money's generated, the views and things like that, it all builds up and you can expand to anything.
There's one particular YouTuber I watch, she's called Kathleen Lights, I think her slogan is. I think she's about 28 now, but she started when she was in her late teens, early 20s. So it's not something that's going to happen overnight. It really isn't. Like even for her, you can see her progression from her early videos to her ones now, and how much effort and time it's actually taken her to build up to that. And as well, for a lot of these people, it is their entire life. That's all they do. They don't have a side job or anything. Because like we said, it takes a day to film, a day to edit. Their entire life is just taken up by trying to film things like that.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts about how local businesses can use blogging and vlogging and stuff for their business?
Well, like we said, we had apps come in to us and they talked about how they use social media and block their videos and things like that. So they did a video sequence on, was it for Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
And it was a different company, they were called Marshmallows, I think. They sold, and they did 3 different videos. They did all different types of couples, and that really blew up, and that's how they managed to sell. I don't even know how many marshmallows in the time that these videos just went out. Because with businesses, I think it's about just showing little tips and interacting with your audience, and that's how they did that. They used same-sex couples and all different types of couples, not just like one, so they can attract to like generally everyone on like Valentine's Day when you want to buy marshmallows.
I think specifically as well, vlogs tend to reach more audiences, more people. I think nowadays with the kind of extremities that we use technology, it's all around us all the time. A lot more people see videos, so promotion, things like that through videos, and even sharing them through like the apps did. They did it through social media, and again, YouTube's a really good one for kind of like getting word out.
I think it's a good way to make it personal as well. Like, yes, it's a business, but like people want to know what's behind it, like who's involved and things like that. It's not just about that is the business and that's all it is. It's a way to interact with your audience and your customers as well.
And the businesses can also use famous YouTubers.
Yeah.
So like, if you're selling a certain product, you could sponsor that YouTuber to do a video about that product, and then obviously if they've got a lot of followers, that'll bring people to the product.
Yeah. That does come with its own risks though,
yeah.
Because if then the YouTuber does something that is taboo or views suddenly go down because something they said, that it will be linked back to your company as well. Yeah. But I think it's when you see a YouTuber that has a good standing, see their past as well, because all their videos are all online, everything's saved there forever, so I think that's a good way to get through.
I think as well that if you try to sell yourself as a person and they start liking you, your personality, and you're selling yourself, then people want to come to your store instead of someone else's because they just, oh, he's a nice person, he deserves to get some customers and stuff like that. Or if the company is obviously, then it's going to be much cooler to come to you than other stores and other businesses.
Any other questions?
Okay, well done.